to consider a Chapter 100 project. Our firm has personally been involved in about 10 to 15 of these projects across the state, and they are mainly to provide tax certainty, although there is some level of abatement that I will get to further down in my presentation when we talk about the impact of the project. The county would take title to the real property improvements, and then they would take title to the personal property improvements that are located on the leased land. They would not take any title to the leased land, and as such, the leased land would not come off of the tax rolls. That land would still pay tax as it currently does. The project ask is for 25 years of Chapter 100, and the pilot would be paid to all taxing jurisdictions at $2,750 per megawatt. So that comes out to about $1.1 million in the first year. And then the county would also receive $250 per megawatt as an administrative fee. Both of those aspects have a 2.5% escalation clause year over year throughout the 25 years. Now we'll get on to a little bit more of the impact of the Chapter 100 plan if it were to be approved. So as I mentioned, the pilot payments would create in the first year $1.1 million split amongst the taxing jurisdictions. That's done in a pro rata share according to their taxing levy in any given year. So that it would fluctuate again based on how much that entity levies proportionally each year. And then it increases to approximately $2 million by the end of the 25 years, and that is due to that 2.5% escalation clause. As I previously mentioned, there's no abatement on the leased land. That land pays the entire tax bill as normal. Over the life of the project, it is approximately a 30% abatement. And that's because if the project were to occur without this tax certainty or tax abatement, the projected taxes would be about $55,700,000 over the 25 years. With the pilots as proposed in the plan, the pilot payments over the 25 years would be about $40 million. So that, again, creates about a 28% abatement over the 25 years. Just to highlight one taxing jurisdiction, and there's in the plan that was mailed and that's publicly available on the county's website, you can see per taxing entity what the projected value of the pilot payments is, but I'll highlight one that has the largest proportion, the school district. The school district over the 25 years is expected to receive approximately $32 million in pilots. And again, that is on top of the taxes paid on the land that is not going into county ownership. So that's kind of a high-level presentation of the project that is being proposed, the ask of the county, and the impact that that project would have if the Chapter 100 plan is approved. Before the council today is a resolution to approve the Chapter 100 plan after this public hearing, and then we would come back at a later date to approve actual bond documents that would effectuate the abatement and put that into place. But this is the public input aspect where the plan as a whole is being considered. So I'm happy to answer any questions from the county.
Before we start speaking, we'll start going through the list Rick has here. And if it's an individual speaking for yourself, then if it could, we are holding to 3 minutes. Anybody that's speaking for a group of people, we can make 5 minutes to try to proceed on. So anyway, with that being said, Rick, you'll start. Okay, I guess we'll start off here. I'll read one of the letters that we have for
This is a stack of letters. They're a form letter. I'll just read what it says. It's signed by numerous individuals. I urge our Henry County Commission to support the Chapter 100 tax program, guaranteeing all revenue generated by solar development projects in Henry County paid to local taxing districts will stay local for the lifetime of the project. Through their support, the commissioners will bolster the property rights of local farmers and landowners and their freedom to choose what to do with their land, including the leasing for energy generation and solar development. Chapter 100 is a vehicle to provide certainty and predictability over the project life by converting what would be tax dollars into payments in lieu of taxes that would be used by local taxing units, just like tax dollars would. This is a major benefit for taxing units because it would create a more reliable revenue stream that doesn't vary year to year or drop off with depreciation. As a sustainable, low-impact form of economic development for Henry County, solar energy stands to offer the following benefits to our community. Freedom to prosper. The Chapter 100 tax program will allow Henry County to control its own destiny from a funding perspective and keep tax revenue local. Job creation. Solar projects will generate well-paying jobs from construction to long-term operations, bolstering our local economy. Local investment. Solar energy projects will contribute to local taxing districts, funding essential services like education, infrastructure, and emergency responders without increasing local resource demands. Landowner rights. Supporting solar projects allows landowners to diversify income and preserve farmland. Lease payments from solar projects provide stable income, helping sustain family farms for generations to come. American energy independence. Development of solar projects reduces reliance on foreign energy sources and promotes growth without permanent loss of farmland. By supporting property rights and economic development in Henry County, we uphold our community's values and build a brighter future. There's probably 30 signed here.
Read them.
You want the names?
Yes.
There
Yeah.
to them standing up.
Yep.
You want me to stand up? I'm sorry. Jenny Madison. Michael Madison. Amy, I can't read the last name. Zenhover, maybe? Jeffrey Nold. Alvin and Pam Winkler. Michael Moore. Kim Bramall. Yeah, I can't read the other name on there. Leo Huff. Kent Schussler and Paula Schussler. Nathan Gretzinger. Peppy Powell and Tim Powell. Stanley Nold. They're not doing any better than I am. Keith Schussler. Paul Nold. Joy Lawson and James Lawson. Robert Wilson. I apologize if I'm not reading these right. Kurt Elsley. Randy Zinder. Alan Rivert. Matt Kidweiler. Louis Thomas. Garrett Hills. Matt Walden. Stacy Kidweiler. Michael Kidweiler. Beth Wilson. Mary Waddell. Troy Wilson. Donald Waddell. And I can't read that last one. It looks like a J. That's all.
Who wrote the form, Ed? Somebody with power company, I assume? It sounds like a lobbyist wrote it.
All right, then we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and start with and good. There will be a filing in the court's office tomorrow night, okay?
I'm sorry.
There'll be a filing in the court's office.
Filing?
I'll keep the file.
Oh, okay.
So we have it.
Is there any way to, know who in there has an interest, a stake interest in the solar project in and of itself? So out of the 6,000 acres that will be leased, how many of those signatures have a direct benefit?
They didn't put that on the letter.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start down the list. John Hill.
He pushed me to last, I don't know
Macro's here?
Yeah, you should that one.
Now, this is limited to 3 minutes, and I've been asked to keep track of the clock, so.
So my name's Mike Rozier. I don't really have a stake in this. My property's not involved, but I'm in the county here. I'd like to start out by saying, first off, that these guys have been working on this for over 5 years, 6 years, and this is the first time they've had a meeting here about it. There was a meeting, I think, in Montrose 6 months ago or so, and the commissioners decided that they didn't even want to go up there to the panel like they are now. They said the county clerk, who couldn't even answer any questions. So, he could answer some, but a lot of times he said, hey, that's for the county commissioners to answer. Those guys sat in the crowd, didn't even stand up and say, hey, we're here, we'll answer those questions. So they've been hiding this, this whole time. It sounds like they've been trying to keep it quiet. They didn't want you guys to know. And now on the day that they're signing this is when they decide, oh, we'll let you guys talk. Because they already told me, I don't know if you guys saw the video like a month ago or so. They told me they intend to sign this no matter what, and push it through before the new county commissioners get here. So they don't even want, they know that during the election, this was a big deal. 2 of them were up for election, they both got voted out.
Amen.
So the people don't want this. So this is, the kind of corruption, maybe they don't have money corruption involved, I don't know. But the corruption here is the fact that they kept it hidden from everybody. And they waited until today at 10 o'clock when most people are at work. So it's amazing that you all are here anyway. So they knew, they went and got all these signatures so that they can say, oh, we've got like 50 people here, 50 people there that signed this. Couldn't make it because it's at 10 o'clock. So it just sounds all shady. And you guys just keep on keeping things a secret. And let's talk a little bit about the agreement you made with the solar panel company. When I asked you, did you negotiate the agreement? You guys told me no. You didn't negotiate. They came to you, they said, hey, we'll give you this. You took it. Who are you working for? I mean, when you're working for the people who vote for you, you negotiate, you say, oh, you're going to give us $1 million a year? Why not 2? Why not 3? Why not try to get more? You didn't even try to get more. You were like, oh, well, we'll take whatever. It sounds like you guys are working for them. And every time I asked you, before you finally spoke up and said, yeah, we're going to sign it, I asked you, are you guys planning on signing this? Well, it's up to the lawyers. It's up to the lawyers. You guys are the ones we voted for. You guys did not even want to have the courage to say, yep, we're helping out this solar panel company. We're going to give them the best. Hey, I know I'm beginning 3 minutes, but I think I'm speaking for a lot of people here. Am I? Okay, so I'll take your time. So, did you even try to negotiate with the property owners who are going to lose money because the value of their property went down? Did you try to negotiate on their behalf?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
You're speaking for others. They need to stand up and take credit.
Stand up, please. Who am I speaking for here? Okay. All right.
Need you say more?
So I'll ask you point blank, during your non-negotiation, did you even ask them, hey, what are we going to give the people who's going to lose property value from these solar farms being put all over the place? Did you ask them? I'm asking you in particular. Did you? Did you negotiate on their behalf?
Answer the question.
No.
Why not? Didn't they vote for you? Why didn't you negotiate for the people who, that your constituents? Why were you always helping the solar panel company? And this isn't about, we're not trying to say you can't have the panels on your property. We're saying we don't want the people we elect facilitating something that we don't want. If they want to go make an agreement on their own, that's fine. Don't come and ask the county to make special tax abatements for them on our behalf when we don't want that shit.
I'm sorry, use of the property is up to the county owners, not the county. That's where
But your
there's the first
facility
start.
is by giving them a
We
tax
did not
abatement.
facilitate anything.
Well, then don't do anything.
We're talking
And see
about what's,
see if they still do it.
okay, let's go ahead and go next. Kevin Love,
I already got my question answered.
pardon?
I already got my question answered.
Okay. Okay, Chance Larson?
I'm gonna parrot Michael a little bit. First and foremost, the idea of signing this like 2 months before Rick and Dale leave office, insane.
Amen.
Not illegal, unethical. That is spitting in the face of every resident in Henry County that voted them out. The way the elections work, if we don't like what you're doing, we get rid of you. We see, I don't know who, I'm sorry, I forgot who you work for, Graham Bell, or Graham Bell? I don't know if they're working for the county or the solar company. You're working for the county, okay. I would like to know if there's been like an environmental test done, to build without doing that. That's insane. I work in construction, and I'm not some tree hugger, but the idea of doing that without having all the facts, insane. It is so frustrating, so disheartening to see people that we elected spit in our face. I voted for Rick, I voted for you. To do this is going to leave a stain on your record when you leave office. There's no coming back from it. I agree with Michael, anybody who's doing the solar project, it is your land, do what you want, that's between you and your township. I've been told they're gonna build no matter what. Let them. If they need the county to hold their hand to build, then you're probably not a good business. The cost of benefits analysis. My understanding with those is to determine exactly what the financial gain is going to be. Has that been re-looked at with the new administration coming in on a federal level? Somebody who ran on the platform of getting rid of solar, getting rid of wind, getting rid of this crazy green energy and going back to actual energy? I don't think so. So if you're not going to re-look at that information you have may or may not be accurate. I'm pretty sure, if I understand correctly too, they get the information from the company building it. So what makes you so confident they're telling the truth? If I'm trying to build a project, I'm going to tell you all the good and as little bad as I possibly can. That's like common sense. You guys just jumped on the bandwagon and rolled with it. It's disgusting. It is so wrong. I mean, like I said, you're gonna have a stain on your mark. You're not going to go down as good commissioners.
Kim Branson?
Okay, so I didn't know a lot of this was going on. I've been getting bits and pieces from Facebook. I know a lot of you are here that I've been reading your comments and everything. My husband and I have worked 19 years to finally get some land, some farm, to bring our children out to hunt. Our game cams have big bucks coming through, and everybody around us has boxed us in because we did not sign. That's gonna change our whole family and our lifestyle. And I
And
feel that,
destroy our property value.
yes, my property value is gonna drop because of this.
That's what he negotiated for you.
And no one's
Nobody
looking out for
negotiated
us.
anything. We just had them come to our door a couple times, didn't say anything. Of course, we work during the day, and that's when they try and come out. So we knew nothing about this. We finally got on the back bandwagon whenever we heard about the Montrose meeting and stuff. So what we've worked for almost 20 years, we've been here 4 years, and it's starting to go down the drain because you guys didn't actually put this out to the community and ask anything of what they wanted. 20 years I wanted this farm, my whole family. We have our son-in-law that comes out and hunts, and that's gonna change everything because of all this. So I'm gonna be looking at solar panels all the way around my property. That's not right.
And you get runoff and flooding.
Ed, sit down.
I don't know, I just got a couple of questions. One thing, I think we voted for, one, maybe not for this, but for the gambling stuff, they said all this money was gonna come back to the state or county. Well, it doesn't come back, and I just wonder, you say all this money's coming back with taxes. Well, I worked for the government for 40 years, and 9 biggest words that are lies was, I'm here from the government, I'm here to help you. I've been there, done that. I found out that after I quit working, that there was a lot of lies they told us, which I believe, which I think we all need to understand, that what you guys are saying has not been the truth. Because I know there's been a couple people in church I've talked to, they can't sell their house because they're in that solar thing. Well, I don't think a lot of people have checked to see the environmental thing, because they told us at Montrose what all the environmental damages were gonna be if those things start getting hurt, broken up. You won't be able to use the land, so then you won't have your tax base anymore, Rick. It's gonna go away. So I think we all need to be aware of that. Thank you.
I will respond quickly on the tax issue. So how pilots work, payments and load tax, it's billed by the county, in the same way that your tax bill would come. So the company will pay those taxes, payments and load taxes directly to the county. The county is required by state law to distribute them, as I said, pro rata according to the taxing levy. So it does come directly back. Many cities and counties use this across the state. So that what is shown here is guaranteed to come back to each of those taxing jurisdictions.
And if they go bankrupt? Mm-hmm. If they go bankrupt, what happens?
And I do not want to go back and forth because that's not my purpose here, but I will say that the bond documents that will be forthcoming, that we are currently negotiating, will have safeguards in that aspect of guarantees on that.
Sebring White.
Probably won't need that microphone, my voice carries pretty well. I can try to whisper and you'll still hear me over there, so. I am opposed to this tax abatement, should not be given. How many times throughout the years have we been promised, oh, this is gonna go to the schools, you know, the lottery when they came in. Our schools are in worse shape than they've ever been. I don't see those taxes helping out our schools. if anything, you're robbing our schools. And I didn't know anything about this until about 6 months ago, when y'all had your first meeting over there at Montrose. And shame on you guys for keeping everything so quiet, under the table. And that is probably why 2 of you are no longer in office come January. And it is really not your job to be signing this. It should be up to the new guys coming in. Let them take the heat if they signed it. You guys should turn around, go back home, and let the new commissioners handle the job. And in case you haven't heard, we have a new president coming into office. One of the things he said was he's going to get rid of that Green Deal.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what this is. It's a Green Deal that was passed by the Democrats. It's going to destroy our land. I don't own any, but I am a deer and turkey hunter. That's going to destroy our wildlife.
Yes.
It's going to destroy the food that our farmers can create that we enjoy. One last word. Drill, baby, drill.
Okay, Chuck Thornton? Chuck Thomas, sorry.
I'm gonna reserve the hold for a minute, but I will yield my time to Mr. Shields.
I'm signed up, so I'm
Did you?
willing to just do
Okay.
whatever, however the deck is shuffled, so.
All right, I wanna make sure you speak, sir.
I'm not confident it was dealt fairly.
Chuck Thomas, I want to ask a question first, and absolutely I'm against all of this. But first, do you think that there's loopholes built in for Ranger Power? I think I heard that there was a certain kilowatt, and then that money would be going back to us as the counties and the schools and blah, blah, and so forth. Do you think that they will not use that loophole and not pay their taxes?
I will speak to how the agreement is written. The agreement is written based on the nameplate capacity. So when the solar panels are built, it's going to be built for 400 megawatt capacity. And that is how the pilots will be calculated, whether or not they are generating 400 megawatts at any given time. So it will be based on the maximum generation capacity.
Okay, what about the amount that will be transferred out of the state?
I do not have any knowledge about that.
Okay, so now we know. They will transfer the power out of here so that they do not pay. Yeah, you looking puzzled because now this is the first question. The question is still the same. They know that they built a loophole in the system so that they can send it out of state and it will not benefit us.
Okay, Denise Welsh?
Well, I'm a resident here, I pay taxes, I agree with everything that's been said so far, and probably what's coming behind me. But I do know that once we start broadcasting these meetings, which is going to happen, people will be able to see what's going on real time. I worked in media for 25 years before I came here 12 years ago, and we were broadcasting all of our municipal meetings for the citizens to watch real time live. This would not be happening if we were watching these meetings on TV, where everybody in their home that can't attend at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, which I had to take we're off work to come here to make this meeting, because they are never allowed to be here. When we start seeing it live, this won't happen anymore. It is probably a done deal, but we're gonna stop this. It's gonna stop.
Bruce Tarleton.
Morning. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Is this on? Hello? There we go. My name is Bruce Tarleton. I'm a resident of Henry County since 2010. I'm a veteran and I'm a landowner. This past couple of weeks I've been binge watching West Wing. And there was an episode, I think it was the first or second season, called Lame Duck. And in that episode, it was after the elections, the Congress was about to change hands. They wanted to call a lame duck session to get a piece of legislation passed that they knew would not pass with the new Congress. When they got to the guy, that most of the show was about them wheeling and dealing, trying to get these congressmen on board for it. When they got to the guy that actually wrote the piece of legislation, he told them, if you call a lame duck session, I won't vote for it. And they said, why? He said, because it was a contention in my district. And the people in my district voted me out because of this piece of legislation. And my legacy is not going to be the congressman that didn't listen to his people. This is a lame duck session right here.
Amen.
You guys are acting on legislation, this agreement, after the election, when you know that when the new commissioners take over, they're not going to pass this. What is your legacy going to be? The two of you will vote it out. What is your legacy going to be if you pass this? You know these people don't want it. It was made clear at the election. They don't want it. But you are sitting here, you're about to put pen to paper and pass something that you know these people voted against you for.
Are you listening?
What is your legacy going to be? You got to ask yourself that, because I guarantee you the way social media is here and the way the word gets out to people, you do this, and if you have any ambitions to run for office ever again, you won't be able to be elected as dog catcher.
Amen.
Okay? I have one other question about this. You want to sign a tax abatement for a corporation. A corporation that would pay all the taxes anyway, if they really want this project. But you want to sign a tax abatement, give them a break. What about the law that was passed here in Missouri that allows for a tax break for those of us that are going to be, well, me in a couple of years, but those of us that are 65 and older that have our taxes, our assessments on our land frozen? Have you guys addressed that? No. I haven't heard anything out of you guys about that. You don't want to give us a tax break, but you'll give a corporation a tax break.
Yep.
Okay? You won't give us a tax break, we'll give a corporation a tax break. What is your legacy going to be?
Okay, Bailey Carter.
Bailey Carter from Montrose, Missouri. Probably the youngest one in the room, I believe, maybe 19 years old. 7th generation farmer, will be after I graduate college. I'm not here to argue about landowner rights. You can do with your land what you want. Our family will not be signing our ground up, which if you did, fine by you, it's your ground. My biggest deal with this is, what about those people that are my age, a little bit older than me, that were looking ahead in their life to get that ground, farm that ground, 25 years, quarter of your life, more than a quarter of your life that you have, and I'm going to see all this ground be turned into solar panels, and never be anything else. And then another thing I wanted to bring up, we have this big corporation coming in, looking for these tax breaks. What about all these small businesses that we're taking that money away from whenever we lose the 6,000 acres? There is a lot of small businesses, not only here in Clinton, Montrose, Urick, I can name a lot of them, I'm not going to. There's a lot of money that goes to those small businesses from those 6,000 acres. We have to think about that whenever this comes to fruition here. I looked today, just a minute ago, corn at Montrose is $4.13. You figure 100 bushel corn, which is not very good on a lot of this ground, 6,000 acres, that equals $2.5 million over 1 year, roughly. Over 25 years, these solar panels could get put in, it's $62.5 million. That's on 100 bushel corn at $4.13. There's been a lot more years where it's been a lot better than $4.13, and corn's been a lot better than 100 bushels an acre. $62.5 million is just on those 6,000 acres. And you're losing that for these solar panels, and you're losing small business company or dollars as well.
Les Carter?
Good job, Bailey. Let's go down that rabbit hole, if we will. We're from Deepwater Township. We're friends with all of you, or we're friends with all of you that signed up for this. We voted for some of you in the past. And number 3, we're coming for you next time. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, we've all been over here at the fair, we've all rubbed shoulders, and we're all friends. But just like my son alluded to, and Jeffro, you know it the best, this affects clear down to Hyman in Rockville. This affects Doug at the elevator, Jake at the elevator. Whose fertilizer is going to go? How many businesses does 6,000 acres of crops take, or cows, whatever you want to put on that 6,000 acres? How many businesses does that affect? And how many employees does those businesses employ? 5, 10, 8. There's no major companies. Doug has, Kayleen, 20 employees. Hyman in Rockville has 20 employees, so let's pick a number. If we take 6,000 acres out of their breadbasket, what's that gonna do? Now, those of you that's ready to retire, and I will point to those of you that signed up, a large portion of you are ready to retire. But let's talk about this younger generation. I'm 50, I will admit. I have to work off farm to help support our farm. The business that I work at provides doors for probably some of you in this room. And consequently, if Mrs. Robertson can't sell her house, guess what? My boss calls up and says, Wes, you're not selling enough doors. Guess what? You're closing your doors. There's 7 employees behind my back, gone.
And they ain't gonna work in the solar fields.
The 5 jobs.
So, my vote is you turn this crap down and send Mr. Suit packing.
Jeffrey Hart?
Hey, I'm Jeff Hart. We reside out here in Davis Township. I think a lot of things have been touched on clearly already, but there's a few things I want to touch on still. One is, planning and zoning got adopted in Davis. Ask yourself why that is. It ain't because we wanted it, it's to keep this out.
Amen.
We've got major problems out there in Davis, and we've been the supporting of this county for quite some time. We're still dealing with the repercussions. Peabody Coal, power plant, and we have a fly ash problem. And now you're asking us to do this? This is ridiculous. My biggest question is, why does a company out of Chicago, one, care about votes on this side, and two, why do they give a darn about this community?
Follow the money.
There's a lot of concerns here, guys, but I can tell you right now, I've talked to local businesses, quarries, fuel companies, even when they were putting their job box in out there, you know what they all said? No. We're not aiding, we're not helping this setup, this industry. Clearly, the people here don't want it, but it's obviously going on deaf ears. Anything we say goes in one ear and out the other. I can tell by your blank stares now. There's another thing I want to touch on, and it happens to go over here to Ranger Power. I spoke with one of your constituents. You guys know Sunshine Solar? They're putting in 140 megawatt over in Ottawa, Kansas. But I think there's probably a couple people here out of Appleton City. Guess what? They're doing something down there, and they could not figure out why they had so much tension and so much pushback. It's because of this right here. You don't think communities don't talk? This is a very small community. You cannot buy your way into a community. You have to earn it. Flat out. There's one thing I want to leave you guys with, and it goes back to this young generation over here. You guys are making decisions for generations that aren't even born. That in itself is insane. Every one of you sitting up there, every man in this room, you were told as a young man, you were told as a boy, leave this world and your property in better shape than you found it. Amen. Something to think about.
Okay, Mark Larson.
This is addressed to all of you. My name is Mark Larson. This is addressed to you. I'm honored to be the commissioner-elect. I just want you to know I'm honored to be it. But I stand before you guys, especially you two, because I already talked to you, Jim. I know you've already told me I'll sign it no matter what. But I'm talking to you two.
They said in the meeting.
I respectfully request that you two defer voting on this to Jake and myself. Guys, this isn't a small matter. It really isn't. I wouldn't be standing here today. I truly believe that. If the county residents, they voiced their opinion. They pretty much told everybody what they want. I'm gonna do it, and I will tell you this, I will not sign it. I'll tell you up front. I mean, even if you guys do defer it, I'm not gonna sign it. You guys gotta understand, this decision has implications way down the line. Way down the line. It's not just about these guys are gonna make a little money and the rest of us are gonna suffer. You're gonna have people that have, their land is gonna depreciate. You've already heard people can't sell. I know for a fact, I know one in particular, they can't sell the property because of this. That's a big thing. That is a big thing. Rick, I know you wouldn't want that. Dale, I know for a fact you wouldn't want it. The choice is really clear. By stepping aside, you guys actually uphold the integrity of that office and allow us to be accountable for what it is. If the people disagree with our choices, Jake, me, and Jim, you know what? They've got every right to hold us accountable. They can recall us. which I'd be very careful with. They could vote us out or other consequences. But if you guys act now, you literally deny the people the fundamental right of what their vote was all about, and that's just plain wrong. I've got one last thing I want to address, and I've heard it raised that Ranger Power will proceed with this without the Chapter 107. If that's true, so be it. Let them. I don't think they will. I don't think within 2 years you guys will still be in business. I'll be honest with you. You lose the subsidies, you are not sustainable. There's not one of you out there that can't survive without the subsidies. And they're going. They are going.
People like them right there too.
It's our responsibility to decide, determine the Chapter 100, not whether they build it. That's the issue right there. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. You know as well as I do, where in the world has the government ever been around that they don't tax solar now? But if solar's gonna be a big deal, it's the up and coming thing, you think this country and the Senate and the House, they're not gonna tax that? Seriously? And we'd get 3 times the money. If we're gonna get hosed, put a little more money in my pocket if you're gonna hose me, okay? $1 million? Guys, for us sitting out here, $1 million is a lot of money. For a government entity, $1 million is not a lot of money. It's not. You can say what you want, but it's not. You dropped how many thousands of dollars to buy a new grader or a new tractor? Just like that. Just like that. So my point actually is to you two. I agree with the last man that stood up here. We weren't paying attention. This is us. This is on us. We were not paying attention to what was going on. But Jim, I am going to let you know. They will be paying attention because those will be recorded. If the county doesn't buy it, I will. And we'll do that.
Okay. Jared Kraft?
Okay, I'd like to just start off. That was a cute little marketing spiel from the form letter about property rights. That's not what we're here to discuss today. It's a good distraction technique, though, get everybody talking about the project. The question today is not whether the project goes through or people have property rights. It's about whether this commission passes the tax abatement for them. Commissioners, members of the community, Chapter 100 is a financial tool used by small governments to incentivize companies to build within their jurisdiction. It's used to attract companies to an area. You commissioners have repeatedly stated the solar industrial complex has been in the works since 2018. Jim Stone stated on the record that they told us they're coming no matter what, and that was the reason for this Chapter 100. That makes no sense. So why then are you desperately trying to sign the tax abatement to benefit the company when they don't need an incentive to come here? Why are you exchanging potentially far greater future tax revenue for a lower fixed payment from them? Why are you hurriedly trying to get this agreement in place 1.5 months before you leave office? This is one of many industrial solar companies now working in our beautiful county. Are you going to give away tax money to all of them too? Because what you do here will set a precedent. Soon Henry County will be a beautiful industrial landscape to steel and glass. Won't that be wonderful? Better change that great people by nature slogan. From your own meetings, Ranger Power has admitted that there would be only 3 to 5 full-time jobs associated with this project. They stated approximately 250 to 300 during construction, but a quick look into these projects across the country proves that nearly 0 of those jobs are performed by local workers. These companies are not taking the time to recruit and train locals. They have subcontractors that travel in to do this work. What about all the other local companies that have supported this county with tax revenue for decades? Where's their tax break? And Jim, you stated on record September 12th in a video that we don't have to do it. You're right, the chapter 100. That part of it we don't have to. So guess what? If that's what the public wants, we'll do nothing. The fact that you're even considering giving a tax payment to this company that needs no incentive from local government to come here, hires no local workers, provides no long-term jobs, potentially costs the county millions in future tax revenues, and hurts agricultural supported businesses here is mind-boggling. You stated several times that the commission has no power to stop the solar project. Well, you do have the power to not give them this massive tax handout. Mr. Stone, your choice is now clear. Honor your word or show the entire community that you lied on record by signing this agreement. The only question left is for Rick and Dale, what's your motivation to push this through 1 month before you're out of office? Do the honorable thing, respect the mandate that the voters of this county gave you in the August primary to stop cooperating with this company and decline giving them this tax handout.
Amen.
Elaine Parks.
That's all right, I get that all.
My name is Eileen Parks, and I'm a resident of Walker Township. First of all, I think it's a sad day for our community, not the Chapter 100, what the solar company has come in and done to our neighbors, put neighbor against neighbor. I'll have solar panels close to me if they come through there, but I believe our zoning can hold up. I am fortunate to live in the middle of the acreage, and I won't have to see it all the time. But you know, I've known some of these people all my life, and I can't even talk to them now. This has put a wedge between us, which Ranger Power, they don't care. So what I have here is, I think most of the people here don't believe that our voices have been heard or our votes have been acknowledged. So I would like to see, by a show of hands, if you think that our commissioners should sign this Chapter 100 and give Beavertail solar tax breaks and let them cover our farmland with solar panels. Raise your hands. If you're for this, I'd like you to raise your hand. Okay. Now, by the same, if you think that our commissioners shouldn't sign this and shouldn't cover our land with solar panels, raise your hand.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Stand up. That's the majority.
So I think our voices have not been heard. Our votes have not been acknowledged. And there is no way that you can look at these people whom you represent and not see what the majority wants you to do.
Amanda, Potter?
Much of what I wanted to say has already been said, but I do want to add, not feeling heard, I do want to take my 3 minutes. My husband and I have lived in the Davis community for, well, we've been married 30 years today, but almost our entire married life.
We've raised our children there. Both of our families do currently live in the same community or have. I want to say that we're going to have solar panels surrounding us in 3 different directions. And I realize that some of you setting up there, if it doesn't apply to you, maybe we don't matter. Everything's been done in secret. Nothing has been open. We recently, this meeting that had taken place about 6 months ago, that was the first time we had started hearing about this. We're at the point in our lives, we're looking towards retirement. And we are finally empty nesters, and we're finally able to do some needed improvements on our house after raising our kids and sacrificing all of those years. And now, we wouldn't even have the opportunity to sell our house. We couldn't get what we wanted out of it, even if we did try to sell it, because our property values have already tanked. They're gonna tank. They have tanked. And nobody can tell me otherwise. Nobody wants to buy a house in the middle of solar panels. Furthermore, if you've grown up being able to hunt and fish, you're not going to get to do that anymore. The animals, I don't know where they're going to go, but they aren't going to be in our community. This whole thing, nobody came around to, I think what hurts so badly is that when you are raised to try to do the right thing, all the time, even when nobody's looking, and you have neighbors that you would do anything for that kept it all quiet, and you don't have the ability to make any decisions or move forward because you didn't know any of this was happening. I think that's what hurts so bad. And I think the fact that zoning was approved in our community, was voted for, and that these 2 on the end were voted out, I think that says a lot. That speaks volumes. Furthermore, the businesses, that's the other thing, the businesses that depend on the farmers coming in and purchasing, they are going to lose business. And to me, 5 people that this might employ locally is not worth the probably 100 employees we're talking about that could lose their jobs because the businesses are losing money off the land that is not being farmed. Power Ranger, if I'm correct, and I've done a little bit of research, you've been around since 2017, is that correct? So about the time you started making these plans for Henry County and coming and talking to all the neighbors, well, some neighbors. I'm not a big fish in the pond. I'm a very little fish. We have little land. But guess what? I looked forward to our retirement years. I looked forward to having grandkids and being able to be outside and not hearing the buzzing, whining of solar panels. It's torn our community apart, and I don't know that that will ever be fixed. And that's all I have to say.
Kathy.
I'm pretty much in agreement with most of what's been said, but I too am going to take my 3 minutes to say my piece. And I'm going to start off by saying each and every one of you sitting at that table should be ashamed of yourselves. Industrial solar projects are colossally a bad idea. The current grid likely cannot accommodate traditional power supply and industrial scale renewables. Take a look at California's failure in this endeavor. Take a look at Europe's failure in this endeavor. Take a look at Australia's failure in this endeavor. I'm not saying that there isn't a place for renewables, but we will not survive if we're expected to be on them. We'll be in the dark at night. We'll be hot in the summers, hotter than ever before. We'll pray that we don't freeze to death in the winters. Do not be fooled by the lies that the Google data centers, Panasonic battery factories, or any sports stadium is powered by solar. They absolutely could not operate without coal, gas, or nuclear power, as they are massive power hogs. They purchase offsets to look good to the environmentalists and the political scammers trying to get their hands on our tax dollars. What that means is they get the reliable power, and we get to sit in the dark at night in our homes, sweating or hoping to not freeze to death. This local government has lacked transparency on this issue until forced into minimal transparency at best. As a U.S. citizen who pays taxes in Henry County and to the Davis School District, I am opposed to the passage of this Chapter 100 tax abatement to these non-transparent companies who already have pockets full of our federal tax dollars. That's the only reason they are here. They do not deserve tax breaks. They do not deserve our local tax dollars. There will not be any assistance to the majority of the resident property owners who will suffer the ill effects of these endeavors to their health, their property, and their property values. This majority is also responsible for voting out 2 of you, sitting commissioners, and I would start packing my desk if I were the 3rd.
Amen.
And don't tell me that it's not affecting property owners because I have a house for sale. When the dawn of the golden age is upon us, I can only pray that President-elect Trump will bury this green new scam and make any company that benefited from federal tax dollars under the guise of it repay every dollar back to the American people.
Richard, Jim?
My name's Richard Shields. I live in Clinton. Kind of a newcomer to Henry County. I moved here first in 1983. My wife grew up here, lived here pretty much her whole life. Her family owns a little bit of ground in Walker Township. I've got some interest in what goes on. A little bit about myself. I've taken several oaths. First in the military, then when I became a police officer. I had to take an oath when I became a lawyer. And then when I became the elected prosecuting attorney of Henry County. I had the privilege of being reelected a number of times, and each time I took an oath that these 2 commissioners, that commissioner, and that county clerk all took. And that oath was to serve the people, not serve themselves, to serve the people of Henry County. I took that oath seriously. But I see a couple of guys sitting at the table who apparently are not. People have said over and over and over again that they got voted out for a reason. But we haven't heard from either of them, and I don't know if either of them have the guts to stand up and tell you people why you're going ahead and going forward with this when you're out of office in 6 weeks.
Come on. Tell us.
Why? Why?
Stand up. Lame duck.
They don't have to, but there's nothing in the rules that says they can't, and they should. So why not? Why not, Rick?
Let's hear it.
Lame duck.
Accountability.
Don't be a coward. Come on, you're almost out of here. Lame duck.
I guess they're not going to do it.
Silence is golden.
So a lot of people showed up to this hearing despite the efforts to schedule it during the day, during the week, when they could have, if they wanted to, scheduled it for a time when more people could be here. A lot of people can't afford to take time off work and come and say their piece. That was a decision that you all made as well. Ranger Power doesn't want the people to come and show up and object to this, but thank you for all for coming, despite that effort. Mr. Sheldon, I was at the meeting, or at least a meeting, when you said, if the people don't want it, you won't vote for it. So are you gonna stand by that?
What about that?
Answer.
I was there, I saw it, and it was filmed. I don't know if somebody's gonna play it back right now, but
Are you gonna answer?
I guess not, but.
No, he's about to. He's about to. Answer.
No use making there. I'm sorry.
So you're not gonna,
This is not exchange. If it was, I'd be glad to debate with you.
well, you're the presiding commissioner, you can make this meeting whatever the heck you want to do.
Hey, who votes on this
I mean,
exchange? Huh? Who votes on this exchange? Let's go.
so this chapter 100 is intended to create an incentive, as we've heard, for companies to come in and they're gonna create jobs. So let's talk about the acres per job footprint. 6,000 acres, let's say that there are 6 employees. 1 employee per 6,000 acres. How many factories are out there that are gonna take up that much space? A 6,000 acre factory is gonna employ tens of thousands of people. Where's the benefit? Look me in the eye, both of you, and just tell me, why are you not doing, why are you doing this? Why don't you wait? All 3 of you, why don't you wait?
What's in it for you?
Yeah. What's in it for you?
You can tell by the smile on his face how much he's getting. Look at that. He's been smiling the whole time.
Well, I'd like to make a point of order. Mr. Thomas deferred some of it. I don't think he used up his whole 3 minutes, so I don't know if you'll permit me to,
Yes, he actually speaks.
Yeah. Yeah, you had 6 years. 6 years. Give him more time.
Go ahead, you got that.
so are you telling me I have to sit down now?
We don't have 5 minutes, so go ahead and finish your spiel there.
That's okay. I'll go ahead and defer to the next person who wants to talk.
I didn't sign up, you can use my card.
Well, I think they're probably gonna say that, well,
I bet
you had to sign that before, so, we can't let you talk now, even though the First Amendment specifically says that we American citizens have the right to petition our government for redress of grievances. Seems like I read that somewhere.
Maybe just ask them all to just say a prayer that they do the right thing.
Well, I could go on and on and on, but what I really wanted to hear, I'm not hearing, is why these 3 are pushing forward with this right before the deadline. And I'm not hearing it.
Okay. Jason.
Thank you.
Who's next? I don't want to drop the mic.
Jason Edwards.
I'll defer to Mr. Shields.
All right, I'll ask again. Why are we here? Why the big rush?
Okay. Cassie Cook. You've had your 3 minutes.
Well, I'm using somebody else's 3 minutes.
We're not transferring minutes.
Well, that apparently is an exception to the First Amendment that they just made up, the we're not transferring minutes exception.
Or is that according to the lawyers, sitting there, lawyer? No, answer my question. Don't give me this roundabout. Yes or no?
What?
Are you saying he can't speak because the lawyer told you, or you're saying?
Yeah.
Our attorney advised me.
Oh my God!
I don't think there was anybody on that letter that showed up, and yet we read
Works for
it.
you.
They weren't here in person.
gonna change.
Okay.
You watch and see, it's gonna change.
That's it, good.
Oh. Better hurry your transfer.
Okay, I'm here as a private citizen, because I've been, just want everybody to know, private citizen. Okay, it is imperative that you all approach this agreement and the lease agreement and these bond materials with a critical eye, ensuring that every detail is scrutinized and every potential risk is mitigated. You must demand transparency, accountability, and concrete assurances that the promises made by Ranger Power will be fulfilled, because the well-being of our community is at stake. If you move forward, which seems like you are, I encourage the county to create a strong compliance program with quarterly representations from Ranger Power to make sure that they continue to say what they said that they were gonna do. I would hate to see negative impacts to this county due to improper oversight. And it sounds like that some of you are leaving, and then you're gonna leave this all in the hands of new commissioners. This cost-benefit analysis assumes perfect execution and full capacity of 400 megawatts, which is unrealistic. I question the validity of the assumptions and the projected benefits. Did you ask for a cost-benefit analysis based on scenarios with 80% capacity? Have you completed a break-even analysis between the current taxes and the projected taxes from this project? The cost-benefit analysis is filled with so many assumptions that it becomes very difficult to trust. There are negative impacts to the Davis Township. I have generational involvement with the township in the past and in the future. And this project could deter people from moving to the area with more than 25% of our township in solar panels. There are concerns about fire risk, and the document says no fire district is affected by the project. The Clinton Fire Department is the first responder of the Davis Township, so there is impact. Lastly, the ongoing discord among the people in the Davis Township is a testament to the turmoil this initiative has already caused, and I can't even imagine what is to come. Before approving this document and proceeding into a financial relationship with Ranger Power, please consider the feedback from the people that have taken time out of their days to be here today.
Vicki Westhuizen?
My question has been answered.
Greg Westhuizen?
So the Carters have actually kind of hit on this point already, but I wrote a statement. So good morning, my name is Greg Westhuizen from Walker Township. And as I have made my stance on this project abundantly clear over this last year, I did not go into forming an opinion on this project with any bias. My concerns range from loss of property value to dividing neighbors and communities. Frankly, you've heard my concerns previously. But during this meeting, I want to emphasize something that you as commissioners should have at the forefront of this decision-making process. While I understand and accept that you do not have the authority on whether this project proceeds or not, you do have a say in whether the red carpet is rolled out for this particular company. The concern I want to address at this time is whether or not an independent economic impact study has been completed to see what effect that taking out over 6,000 acres of row crop land would have on the local economy. According to 2020 Michigan State University Center for Economic Analysis study, when considering the direct and indirect economic effect of reduced agricultural production to the total amount of $1 million loss to the economy for every 1,000 acres. That's over $6 million per year in lost jobs and businesses. Everything from seed sales, equipment sales, repair shops, fuel, parts, crop insurance, chemical and fertilizer sales, co-ops, banks, etc. That is a huge detriment to local businesses who support not only local jobs, but also support organizations and families. As most people who are involved in this agriculture are aware, genetics over the past 10 to 15 years have increased dramatically. So that number will almost certainly increase. As an example, 20 years ago, we were happy with 120 to 140 bushel yields in corn. Now we are disappointed if we don't produce at least 180 bushel per acre. While I understand giving financial incentives to certain companies in order to lure them to the community, usually those companies are coveted by other municipalities. It has become abundantly clear at the town hall and by the vote concerning zoning that the majority of constituents do not want this to proceed. Let's understand that there will most likely be a huge need for energy consumption in the near future. If this project doesn't come to fruition, what other options for clean energy would be a possibility? Natural gas, a small modular nuclear facility, would provide many good paying jobs for local citizens while not having all the negative side effects that an industrial sized solar complex would have on our rural friends and families. As each individual family bases their decision making on what's best for themselves, you as commissioners base your decision on what's best for this county. And as I base all my thoughts on, do not do unto others that you would not want done unto yourself.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, John Hilly?
I'm gonna defer.
No, wait a minute.
I just got a couple of questions and maybe hopefully provide some perspective to this group. My grandparents moved to Henry County in 1933, so I feel like I've got as much of an agricultural legacy as about anybody does here. In 1964, the government, using eminent domain, the federal government, took the farm. They also took the farm of my mother's parents in the Osage River. So I grew up and heard stories about the abuses of land rights, of land ownership. And I'm a believer in land rights. I'm also a believer in democracy. And I honestly don't know much about this 100 other than that they're offering to pay taxes. My question is, how many businesses in this area don't pay property tax? Some? Is that right? Is that right? Yes. Okay. So they are completely abated. All right? Who's the largest landowner in Henry County? The United States government. Do they pay property taxes? Okay? Now, at this point, you know, I have land in Davis Township. I signed up because I thought it was the best thing for my family. My responsibility.
And it's your putt, man. It's your putt. Thanks a lot.
Well,
I can't sell it. Nobody wants it.
It's priced beyond a reasonable amount, Bill. I'm not gonna engage with this.
Why didn't you come talk to me before? You could have told me you had all this time, you could have come talk to me. I worked for you, I made you money. You could have come talk to me. And you didn't.
If you wanna come talk to me, you come talk to
You
me.
go by my house all the time, you could have stopped.
Let John speak.
So, I respect, I know a few of the people pretty well here, acquainted with some, don't know most of them. But I respect the process that's occurring here. I believe also in equity. And I was on the school board for 6 years, and I know what kind of money the school district forfeited due to tax abatements. So I've had a problem with tax abatements for a long time. I look at this as, at least we're getting something. Now, whether our commissioners did it right or wrong, I honestly don't know.
You do too.
Who said that?
I did.
Okay,
Talk to them.
yeah, I don't know.
You're white and 21 like the rest of us.
I just, more than anything else, wanted to use this as a platform to say I'm against abatements, total abatements, because biggest landowner, I guess, how much money do we get from the federal government every year?
Not much, about $180,000.
Okay, all right. So, my history was corrupted by the federal government. I don't know how many people are for or against Truman Lake here, but I think things are coming down the road and you gotta make decisions on whether you accept them or don't. I think there's inequity associated with tax abatements, and they pitted these small towns all over the country. It's called corporate welfare. Time Magazine did a series of articles on it 10 years ago. It's just a reality of the world we live in. And the fact that, again, I'm not passing judgment on whether we're getting enough, but something might be better than nothing.
You already got taxes on it.
Is somebody keeping track
Okay.
of time up there?
Okay,
It's beyond 3 minutes.
who's there about that? Would, Mark or y'all wanna talk about this? I guess part of it is an abatement or is it a?
Jim, before you do that, I got 30 seconds and then I just want to say this real quick. Out of everybody here, only one person stood up and supported this. You guys have one opportunity when you go back to the courthouse to do the right thing. When you have a 19-year-old kid explaining to you the morality of God, family, friends over money, you three are old enough, you should know better.
Both of you corrupt individuals right there.
Are you all planning on voting on this today?
Based on their agenda, yep.
They planned on signing it.
Well, if you plan on voting, then I'd like the record to reflect that I'm objecting to the sufficiency of the notice given to the community in the taxing districts under section 100.059. Would like to make sure that that is entered into whatever record's being kept, so that could be referenced in possible future litigation regarding the validity of this agreement.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and we'll close the public meeting.
Vote private, you bet.
Did you get that down? Because I kind of questioned the accuracy of some minutes in the past.
We're all witnesses.
Does the contract state anything about soil remediation once the solar is removed? I mean, we're dealing with PFAS chemicals, that are super chemicals.
Yeah. Right now, we're not here to debate anything right now.
I'm not asking for debate, I was asking for clarification. I was wondering if soil remediation is in the contract, that Ranger Power would be held accountable to remediate the soil to its original condition after the lease of 25 years.
Good question. It'd be hard to deal with that.
You're talking about chemicals that stay in the soil for generations.
Heavy metal.
You're right. One of the things I will tell you about that is in the decommissioning agreement.
Where can we get a copy of that?
How would they be held accountable for this? I mean, if they want to answer, that's fine. I'm asking.
I'd like to know too.
It's clarification, sir, I'm sorry.
We just need to close out the meeting. Okay?
You're exactly right. They can't clean it up because there's, you know, you can research the metal, 7 different metals go into the ground, they can't ever get rid of it. Leads down into our waterways, everything else. You're
If there's
exactly
no
right.
environmental impact study prior, how do you know what they're restoring it back to?
Right.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close it down. fund resources.
So what time do we all show up to see you sign this thing?
Yeah.
What time?
You gonna vote on it? You gonna vote on it today?
Is that a close one?
Shouldn't be.
Hey, what time's the meeting at the courthouse for this?
We'll be redoing later.
What time?
What time?
What time, lawyer?
Just so you know, all meetings are posted publicly. Read the notices when they go up.
Yeah, they start at 10.
Yeah, and the people that posted it are sitting right here and they ought to answer and say, having some BS lawyer answer like that.
Council, this is not the time nor the place for an argument. The meeting is closed.
What time are you going to
Nobody's arguing, we're just asking a simple question.
Some information.
You can't close the meeting, you're not elected.
No, the lawyer's making all the decisions here.
Oh my goodness.
How much is Granger paying you?
Too much. He's not gonna tell nobody that. That's all on the table.
Well, I guess we just have to hold them to the court.
Real. Yes, well, we all took the day off, so we had nothing else. Oh, thank you.